Hello students. Today we are going to discuss more social reformers and how they brought changes to India. So this chapter, that is social and religious reforms or in movements, this is only talking about the social reformers. So you have to learn about different social reformers that we discuss in the class. So let's see who were other social reformers. Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai was a Sanskrit scholar who dedicated her life to improving the condition of destitute women and child widows. She also campaigned against child marriage. She stressed the need for female education, especially in medicine. She established the Sharda Sadan in Pune to provide accommodation and help to widows and the Mukti Mission to house destitute child widows, women, and orphans during the devastating famines in Maharashtra in the late 19th century. So, Pandita Ramabai was a Sanskrit scholar. Basically, she worked in the cause of widows, child widows. During that time, in the early 19th century, there was a very high rate of girls getting married below the age of 18. So, young children were married and then maybe they were widows, maybe their husband fought in the wars and they died and the girls would become widow. So, in that case, Pandita Ramabai, she established Mukti Mission in Pune to house destitute child widows and orphans there. So this is what the work of Pandita Ramabai is. Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Swami Dayanand Saraswati, originally called Moolshankar, was born in Gujarat in 1824. He believed in monotheism. What is monotheism? Practicing the worship of one God, and discouraged idol worship, social inequalities and child marriage. Dayanand encouraged women's education and widow remarriage. See, most of the social reformers, they were very much aligned to helping the widows. So he was also, Swami Dayanand Saraswati was also effective in working towards widows. He also proposed child education and he himself was born in Gujarat in 1824. Great social reformers like M.G. Ranade, Vidyasagar and Keshav Chandra Sen helped Dayanand to establish the Arya Samaj in Bombay in 1875. So Dayanand Saraswati, he established Arya Samaj. Brahmo Samaj, there was a Brahmo Samaj, then now Arya Samaj was established in Mumbai in 1875. Membership of the Samaj was open to all castes. Everybody could participate in being a member. The Arya Samaj aroused cultural and national pride among the people. It also carried out social work like famine relief and ran orphanages and widow homes. The Samaj produced leaders like Lala Lajpat Rai and Lala Hansraj. So Lala Lajpat Rai and Lala Hansraj, who were very effective in India's freedom struggle, they came from Arya Samaj. Dayanand popularized the slogan "Go back to the Vedas." He began the Shuddhi movement to reconvert Hindus who had converted to other religions. He published his writings mostly in Hindi so as to reach out to the common people. In 1877, Satyarth Prakash, containing the essence of his teachings, was published in Varanasi. Dayanand Saraswati died in 1883. So this is what Dayanand Saraswati was very much effective in Shuddhi movement, where he would reconvert people of Hindu clan who had converted to other castes. In 1886, Dayanand's followers, led by Lala Hansraj, established the Dayanand Anglo-Vedic DAV school at Lahore. See, DAV school is even working today. The policies and teachings of Dayanand Saraswati are still imbibed in DAV schools. Soon a number of DAV schools and colleges were set up at various places. The education imparted at these institutions combined traditional Indian learning with Western scientific studies. So in DAV schools, there was traditional Indian learning and also Western studies. So it was like a mix of Orientalism and also Western education. However, differences over the education policy caused a split in the Arya Samaj. In 1902, the more orthodox members established a Gurukul at Haridwar, modeled on the Gurukuls of the Vedic period. So let's discuss about Ramakrishna Paramhans now. Ramakrishna Paramhans from 1836 to 1886 spread the message of single-minded devotion to God and promoted religious tolerance. He preached in the language of the common people. His simplicity and devotion attracted many followers. Even great reformers like Keshav Chandra Sen and Dayanand Saraswati received spiritual guidance from him. His favorite disciple, Narendranath Datta, became famous as Swami Vivekananda. So, the Ramakrishna Mission, there are so many Ramakrishna Mission schools. There is a Ramakrishna Mission school in Devghar that is working today. So Ramakrishna Paramhans had followers. Swami Vivekananda was one of his followers. So this is what about life of Ramakrishna Mission. He inspired, he was like a spiritual guru. He inspired many people. Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda from 1863 to 1902 mastered Western and Indian philosophies. In 1893, he addressed the Parliament of Religions in Chicago, USA. His brilliant speech on Hindu philosophy was widely appreciated. I would like all of you students to listen to the first speech of Swami Vivekananda, which he delivered at Chicago. Please, I would request you to have a look at it, search it online, and then listen to his speech at Chicago. Swami Vivekananda's speech at Chicago. Vivekananda held the society responsible for the welfare of the downtrodden or the Daridra Narayan. He attacked superstition, narrow-mindedness and weaknesses in all forms. So, Swami Vivekananda promoted equality amongst all human beings. So, that was his idea basically. Vivekananda established the Ramakrishna Mission in 1887 to spread Ramakrishna teachings and to reform society through education and social service. The mission set up schools and hospitals and provided relief during famines and epidemics. A mutt or monastery was established at Belur near Calcutta in 1899 to take care of the religious aspects of the mission's work. Vivekananda's untimely death at the age of 39 robbed India of a great leader. So, Vivekananda established Ramakrishna Mission in 1887 where they established schools, they established hospitals to help people. Let's discuss about Annie Besant. Annie Besant was an active member of the Theosophical Society, originally founded in the USA in 1875. In India, the society established its headquarters at Adyar near Chennai. The Theosophical Society tried to revive Hinduism based on the philosophy of the Upanishads. The society also promoted the Boy Scouts movement and set up schools for boys and girls. Annie Besant founded the Central Hindu School at Varanasi, which ultimately became the Banaras Hindu University. So Annie Besant also was an educationist. She was part of the Theosophical Society, and she was responsible for Banaras Hindu University to be formed. Let's discuss about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted to remove backwardness from the Muslim community. He spread his ideas through his magazine named Tahzeel ul Akhlaq. So he was also a social reformer, but he basically worked for the Muslims. He tried to remove social evils from the life of the Muslims. Syed Ahmad Khan started a reform movement called the Aligarh movement. He attacked the Parda system, polygamy and the Muslim system of divorce. He promoted women's education, established English medium schools and set up the Scientific Society at Aligarh to spread rationalism. In 1875, he established the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh, which later became the Aligarh Muslim University. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the founder of Aligarh Muslim University. See, he was also a reformer who worked in the process of women's education and polygamy. He was against polygamy, he was against Parda system, and he was a social reformer for a great cause. So let's discuss Ahmadiyya movement. Ahmadiyya movement. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad started the Ahmadiyya movement at Qadian in Punjab to promote social, educational and religious reforms. The movement also aroused national pride among the people. So this is what is Ahmadiyya movement. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad started the Ahmadiyya movement. The Ahmadiyya movement is named after Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Dadabhai Naoroji. Dadabhai Naoroji belonged to the Parsi community. The Parsis were among the first to take to Western education in India. They opened girls' school in 1850s. Dadabhai Naoroji was one of the Parsi reformers who set up the Rahnumai Mazdayasan Sabha, a religious reform association in 1851. In the same year, Dadabhai Naoroji introduced the newspaper Rast Goftar to spread modern ideas. Dadabhai Naoroji also helped set up the Widow Marriage Association. So Dadabhai Naoroji basically worked for the Parsis, and he was the first one. Basically, Parsis are the people who adopted to English. They were the first ones to adopt to English. And also Rahnumai Mazdasyan Sabha was established by Dadabhai Naoroji, and Widow Marriage Association was established by him. Let's discuss some reform amongst the Sikhs. Reform movements among the Sikhs. Religious and social reforms among the Sikhs were undertaken by Singh Sabhas set up in Amritsar. Their aim was to spread modern education among the Sikhs and to check conversions to Christianity. The Singh Sabha established Khalsa schools and colleges all over Punjab and promoted Punjabi language and literature. So Singh Sabhas were organized in order for Sikhs not to getting converted to Christianity in Punjab. The meetings were held in Amritsar. In due course, the Singh Sabhas questioned the misuse of authority by the Mahants or priests of the Gurudwara. In the early 20th century, Akali movement led by the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee was launched against the corrupt Mahants. So this was also an effective step taken by Singh Sabha to avoid corrupt Mahants. Corrupt Mahants are basically people who are making money through loaning it to others. So basically those Mahants were corrupted, as Singh Sabha took an effect to make it correctly. So this is the end of our chapter. We'll begin a new chapter in our new class. Have a good day, students.